That's all I got, bro. This is your show.
All right, well, let's get to some questions finally. It's only been 45 minutes.
How much longer can we go without having to talk about anything going on in the modern world?
Well, this first question was sent to CornyDriveThru@gmail.com from Zishan in Karachi, Pakistan. Why is Vince McMahon insistent on scripted promos when he himself knows that the best promos wrestlers did were not scripted by him or anyone else? Case in point, Austin 316, or If You Smell What The Rock Is Cooking, etc. Plus, it also robs the wrestler of his personality.
Well, I agree with all of that. And Vince knew that 25 years ago, and it wasn't like that one day he just suddenly changed his mind. We've forgotten this was a process. The whole idea of exchanging is still until myself and Bruce Pritchard were both off creative and Shitstain and Ferrara took over. And well, they didn't take over because it was Vince's crew. But when Vince started the nucleus of them writing the shows, that's the first time that non-wrestling people had been allowed to be his creative team. There may have been one on a team at some point in time. I don't know, but I can't even call that person's name. But non-wrestling people, and then they do it for a while, and then, you know, when they leave and go to WCW, then he's getting. Meanwhile, he's had a few other people filter in there. He's went the direction of Stephanie, who had just graduated college. So, well, let's make her the head of creative. And that's not even a knock on Stephanie. I just don't see how, you know, that wouldn't have happened without her proper last name, that she would suddenly take over creative when I can't remember what she studied in college, but I don't even think it was writing, was it? She just was around now. But anyway,
I believe it was botany.
Botany. There you go. And then, of course, she wants it to be a television company and starts hiring not only, you know, TV writers, but non-wrestling people who have degrees in these things. And Vince is still at that time knew the top guys that can talk and have personalities. You let them do their thing, but gradually it started from the bottom up. Well, the fucking underneath guys will script this stuff because Vince doesn't care anyway. It's not that he doesn't care whether the guy lives or dies, but he doesn't care what. I guarantee you during the Attitude Era, it was very difficult to get Vince McMahon to listen to what fucking Kai and Tai might be going to do on the program. As long as the, you know, pay-per-view was getting sold and the main event stars were taken care of, he'd let other people fill that shit in. So then it started gradually as it was never a thing that we did in OVW developmental, but as they started their own developmental, that was a thing. They started training guys that here's your script. And they started even letting guys call it a script. I used to threaten guys with fines if they called a television format in the wrestling industry a script. And it was a slow, it like crept up like fungus grows. And also it was aided by so many more guys getting in the business and not having any fucking personality. Because we hit the fucking trained monkey era where everybody wanted to be the flying Walindas on the trapeze and get into business to do cool moves in front of their friends in the rec center. And though, so they need to be told what to say. Some of them on NXT still obviously need to be told what to say. So it just took over. It took years and years, but that's kind of the way it happened. The conditions just got right that people outside wrestling were given for the first time creative positions within it, and then it was fostered by the new younger generation of McMahons thinking that they were, you know, they're going to be a big television company and not just wrestling anymore. And then a bunch of colorless jackoffs that want to get into business that can't tell a goddamn story to save their life and sit on their phone and fucking noodle all day instead of fucking figuring out how to get themselves over as some kind of personality. And then they pay the writers a lot of money, so they got to justify their existence. And that's how it happened.
How much of it do you think is a control thing from Vince?
Well, at this point, he probably is, instead of that, he's probably going, God, I wish I had guys like Hulk. You know, they could really just take this shit and run with it. You know, he probably wants somebody to come out there and fucking do better shit than is written for him. But it still needs to, you know, be within the parameters of what Vince wants. And that's, you know, that used to be a great thing. It's the same thing Austin did. The same thing all those guys did. But now I don't know what he wants. Maybe he don't know what he wants. And none of these guys look like, for the most part, they can give it to him. If Damian Priest, you know, could probably fucking cut loose and be something. But the rest of it, Vince probably looks like, God damn, you know, what am I running here? Make-A-Wish?
Did anyone ever say anything to you when you were up there about what it was like when they were doing Saturday Night's Main Event on NBC? Because those were, I believe, scripted promos that were on that show, which was obviously produced by Dick Ebersol.
Yes.
Was anything ever said to you about that?
Well, yeah, and Bruce did a lot of those. Or produced, you know, stuff for a lot of those, or was involved as Brother Love or whatever. And hey, they liked that shit because it was network TV and blah, blah, blah. And I get NBC was not going to let just a bunch of fucking wrestlers make shit up. I think they even have run-throughs of Saturday Night Live and still get shit by, right? But they always liked it that way because it was real television, network TV, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's always the direction that Bruce loved that kind of shit. They wanted the show business. I wanted the wrestling and just, you know, broadcast it to a wide audience. They wanted the show business.